Now, there are 4 distinct beasts that are like none we've ever seen. However, I think if you've read chapter 2, you could see some similarities.
Yeah, there are definitely some parallels and some similarities to there, for sure.
Right. So the first one is we have the eagle and the lion, right? Now, the eagle, the lion, these are kingly beasts of greatness, right? These are like regal, right?
Yeah,
And
the eagle is kind of the lion of the sky in a way,
Right.
almost. And the lion is the,
Yeah. And if you think about that in context of Nebuchadnezzar's dream from chapter 2, you had the golden head of the statue, right?
Right.
The eagle lion is Babylon.
Yeah.
This is the kingdom of Babylon, right? Then you have the bear. Now, this bear, gosh, I didn't find anything about the ribs, so maybe somebody could figure something out with that. But
you know what? It could be we're not supposed to know.
Right. But it is the second one, right? And so obviously this is going to represent the silver of the Medo-Persians, right? So I've heard this, I read this as well, that like the bear was thought to lumber. And now we know bears are actually really fast, but they don't look like they're necessarily moving fast.
Yeah, well, and when you think about it, it talks about its teeth that are iron, right?
Oh, that's the great beast.
That's the great beast. Okay, yeah. But you do still think that a bear, but no, it's still known for its teeth that crush, that have strong teeth that eat and crush, and
But so this is meant to be the Medo-Persians.
Yeah,
like however the description goes, this is it, right? And then you have this leopard beast, right? And this leopard beast, like each of these beasts, the bear is probably the most normal, right? You got an eagle mixed with a lion that becomes
that's a griffin, right?
Yeah. But then it stands up like a man and gets the mind of a man,
right?
Which could be a reference to Nebuchadnezzar regaining his mind, you know. But you have then this leopard, and this leopard, if I think he has like 4 heads,
four wings,
and
four heads. And given authority to rule.
Right.
Yeah.
Now the 4 and the 4 is going to make sense, I think, later with some of these visions. But this leopard is the bronze piece, and this is Greece. Yeah. And so remember that 4 when we talk about Greece, because I think that is important. And then you get the terrible beast, right? And it has iron teeth. The iron that we recall from Nebuchadnezzar's dream is Rome.
Sure.
Right? So the thing about this is we're getting something like unique, something we've never seen, something that utterly crushes. Rome does that.
Yeah.
But then there's something else that comes out of that, right? You've got these 10 horns that he clearly is confused about because he's thinking about it. And as he's thinking about the 10 horns, you've got the extra horn that comes up, right?
Yeah.
Well, think about this. 10 horns, 10 toes.
Right.
On your statue, you've got those later kingdoms that are iron and clay.
Yeah.
Right? This kind of lines up, right? So this makes you feel, so if the giant beast with its iron teeth is Rome,
right,
the horns are alluding to the end times.
Yeah.
Well, this is alluding to the end of these current kingdoms.
Right.
Right? If that makes sense. So this additional horn that has human eyes and a mouth uttering great boasts, this could be the Antichrist.
Right.
But one of the things that we're going to notice as we go through all of these visions, God doesn't really do one thing. Like most of the things that he does, he showcases over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like there are different types of these. So there's not an Antichrist. There is an Antichrist.
Yeah.
But there's a spirit of the Antichrist that showcases this is what it looks like to be an Antichrist. In the same sense, you think about Jesus. Jesus is the second Adam, right?
Right.
So like there's these different types and there's these different covenants that inform what his current covenant looks like.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like some of these things some of this vision is about now.
Yeah.
And some of this vision is about later.
Right.
But they really are very similar.
Well, yeah. And I think the other thing about that is that I'm sure that there was purpose in, and it's easy for us now to look back on it because we can look at the first part of these things, they came true.
Yeah.
So if these 3 things came true, I'd probably imagine that this fourth thing is going to be right too.
Right.
You know.
The only problem is like we have the hindsight to understand what those 4 things, what it was that happened, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
It's still kind of tough to picture what that's going to be.
Yeah.
But we know that there's going to be some similarity.
Yeah.
Right. And so we have to be careful about that, though.
Yeah. Well, and you know, and I will probably say this a lot over these next couple chapters. If God wanted us to know, He would have made it a little more clear. You know, there's even Jesus Himself doesn't know when He's returning. You know.
Yeah.
And so I think that there is definitely some
Mystery.
that we need to have the faith that, you know,
That God knows what He's doing.
God knows what He's doing. Yeah.
And that's kind of the point of Daniel.
We don't have to know we know the end of the story, but we don't know the end of the story.
Right.
We have to trust and like I know that God is going to protect me and to, you know, provide for me and all of those things. I don't know what the next 10 years hold, but I know that God is going to protect me and, you know, all of those things.
He's gonna enact His plan, and it's gonna be the best thing
Right.
that can happen. Right.
Yeah.
Whether we feel like it or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that we keep seeing. God is the King of Kings. God is in charge. God is on the throne. We don't need to know,
Yeah.
right? The fact that there's mystery, it alludes to, but He knows.
Yeah.
Trust Him because He knows, right?
Right. And again, yeah, we can have the faith that because, and we'll see this later on. We know how the story ends basically, and as followers of Christ, it ends well for us, and
Yeah.
so we can have the faith that is going to be true because all of these other things that have been prophesied, that were prophesied, did come true. And
Yeah.
you know, I can't remember the number, but there's dozens of prophecies in the Bible that have already come true, and there's still a ton more that we haven't reached yet.
Sure.
But we can be sure that they will at some point. When exactly, exact details we don't know, but
Yeah.
we don't need to probably.
Probably not. All right.